Yeah, the affirmative, the so-called affirmative model of therapy, which, and I know you've said this many times, but clearly that's the opposite of what therapy is supposed to do in most cases.
It's insane.
Is there a time?
It's insane. Look, the first thing that a therapist, the first predicate of a therapeutic encounter is that identity is negotiated. Right? The whole therapeutic process is negotiation of identity. No one comes forth and proclaims, this is who I am. If you have a client like that, you might as well not even begin. They're just looking for a rubber stamp, and you're corruptively provided. It's like the person has to come in there with a questioning attitude. Who am I? Who should I be? How should I present myself? These are open questions. And the therapist, too, equally has to come with the same attitude. If you came to talk to me, my first presumption is something like, I have no idea who you are. I have no idea what your problems are. I have no idea what the solutions could or should be. Like, we're going to find out. We're going to discover. We're not going to insist. We're not going to proclaim. Not at all. It doesn't work anyways, but it's also counter-therapeutic in the extreme. Like, we're going to find out. Like, we're going to discover. Extreme. Discover. Extreme. We're not going to insist. Extreme. Discover. So there's an idea, for example, that's central to the Christian worldview, that wherever two people are together, aiming up and telling the truth, that the Spirit of God Himself is present. Right, that's the notion that where two or more are gathered in my name, there I am. Christ makes reference to in the Gospels. Well, honest communication is therapeutic. It's the wrong word. It's enlightening. It's illuminating. It moves you closer to God. And a secular interpretation of that is that it's therapeutic. But that language suffers from the contamination of enlightenment with the material. Well, one of the things that you can derive from that is that the mystery isn't why people are depressed, it's why they're ever not depressed. You can say the same thing about anxiety. I mean, your point there is that all cognizant mortal beings have sufficient reason for despair. Right. And yes, and I actually think that's true. I think the fact that we are able to live without paralyzing anxiety, because I think anxiety is probably the more germane response in the face of that kind of existential doubt. The fact that we're able to live in the absence of anxiety ever is a fundamental mystery. I also believe that psychologists who have their thoughts lined properly are much more concerned with the mystery of sanity than they are perplexed by the mystery of insanity. Now, it isn't obvious how we can live without anxiety. In fact, it's not obvious at all, and it's not obvious at all how it is that we structure our beliefs to extract sustaining meaning from the mortal chaos in some ways that surround us.